Shogun took me by surprise, but not just because it was good, but because of the complicated relationship I found myself in with the characters. The show was fantastic, let me get that out of the way. The acting was outstanding, the bait and switch and making us think Blackthorn was the main character was a great move when he was really just a part of a much bigger story, and the feudal Japan setting was done expertly. Just wow. I want to go a little bit deeper than that. With shows that rely on the audience to have this strong attention span, following a sea of subtitles, there could be a level of disconnect between the viewer and the character. You can miss words here or there, some little details. Taking in everything they are saying and the nuances of emotion is much easier when you share the same language. It's me, I'm audience. The ADHD brain makes it a struggle not to zone out sometimes, even when I am watching an English program. But Shogun managed to remove this boundary comfortably. I was so deeply invested I couldn't dare to miss a line in case it had some bigger meaning and I totally missed out on some huge plot element that was totally going to affect the rest of the show that I missed out on those 2 seconds I didn't see what was said. Each character felt like real complex people. Humans don't always make sense. We act irrationally, out of character, and other times hold such high regard to our opinions that it will impact us negatively. The writing managed to create genuinely complicated, hard to understand human beings. Fairly often I felt that media finds it easier to portray characters in a way that is clear-cut, good/bad, happy/mad. Sprinkle in some nuance and boom, you've got character development, but quite often I don't feel like these shows leave you feeling it. You're just told it. The deep intricacies of which the samurai culture is built on is a really hard subject to try and base characters around. Each decision they make is based on political, social, and cultural dynamics that can oftentimes be seen as baffling in modern times. You're blending this with characters that are so deeply complex that their motivations are only known to themselves. So you think you're getting a grasp of what's going on and what to expect from a certain character, and then they curveball you with seppuku to aid the master plan, without anything actually having been said to indicate as such. Decisions like these are baffling as a viewer at first glance, but with each episode you kind of gained an understanding of, despite the absolute madness of it, why they will do what they do even to their own detriment. Toranaga is in my opinion one of the best written characters in television, full stop. When we're introduced to him, he's heading towards effectively the start of a country-sized chess game, with so many years of history behind it. You're faced with the same question you always have in these scenarios. Is he a goodie or is he a baddie? It's pretty clear that this guy's probably a goodie, and you're like, cool, okay, I get it. But then we're led on this journey throughout the series where lines are blurred. He refuses to let the engine leave because he knows he would lose his pawn. He torches a village while knowing fine well it was he who allowed the ship to burn. But he's not inherently a bad man. He is a man looking for the greatest thing the world can yearn for: peace. Each action, no matter how soulless, cold or brutal, in his eyes is an aid of leaving his kingdom better than when he entered it. I feel that he views it that he is the only one that can commit the atrocities that are needed to move the country and the kingdom forward, and that if somebody else was to take over, all the atrocities would be for the wrong reasons. Somehow they managed to write him in a way that made me feel like us, the audience, was also just another pawn in his war against the council. He was morally grey enough that you could absolutely understand why people would say he was good, and why others would absolutely stand by their guns that he is also a bad man. I haven't really felt as tornadoed watching a show as I have with Shogun. Countless moments that took me surprised were entirely built off the irrational decisions characters chose to take that ultimately, with time, I just had to come to accept that were rational through their eyes, if that makes sense. It can feel frustrating when a show doesn't really give you the climactic end you're looking for, but so much of the show was based on interpersonal relationships, conversations, and arguments that made sure the war, which we were never going to see, was already won. There is likely some deeper meaning to be had of the excellent writing for every single one of the characters in the show, but I just wanted to talk about what I thought made it special. In the end, 5 out of 5 show.